Stand Atlantic dropped a new album, Was Here. We interviewed Bonnie from Stand Atlantic, and it was fucking awesome. You should go watch it. It was a great chat. We discussed, like the Mothica interview, we discussed everything about this record. We almost went track by track, but then it was kind of like a maybe we should just, keep it to not surface level, but general shit.
We got a time
Um,
limit.
exactly. We have a little time limit on this one.
Yeah.
If we didn't, we would have loved to, but we can't. Um, this album is incredible. I know you have a lot more shit to say about it, so I'm just gonna get my
You're
couple
good.
little
You're
notes
good.
out of the way. I think the way that it opens is incredible. Into Frenemies and then to Girls, which is still my favorite track. It is my favorite single. And after listening to the album 3 times, it is still my favorite track. It's so fucking good. I think they picked the singles very, very well. It makes sense. It sounds great. It flows incredibly. I'm gonna let you go ahead. This is like one of your fucking favorite albums.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Stand Atlantic. Getting to chat with Bonnie again was an absolute pleasure and was a great time. Been patiently waiting for this record to come out because we heard it early, and from the first time I heard it, I'm like, holy fuck, I want to scream from the rooftops about how great this record is. And luckily, actually had some other journalist friends that heard the record, and we were able to talk about the album a little bit. He had actually heard it before I did, so he sent me like his album of the year list like midway through, and I'm like, dude, like Stan Atlantic's on there, and I haven't heard the album yet, but I'm even more amped about the record. So I'm a big fan of the way it opens. Wake up, sit down, shut up. Really sets the tone for the record, but does give this implication that it's going to be like heavier, darker themes, which it is darker themes, but it's not this record. They toe the line a little bit more of like the heavier sound that they have been evolving and growing into, because the last record was very much like just we're a heavy band now, this record plays with that side a lot, but also reintroduces and expands on the pop punk sound that they had previously, as well as doing other things that we hadn't heard them do in the past, dabbling with some pop elements and things of that nature. So it really is the first time we've seen like a melting pot of sounds from Stand Atlantic, because it's really been like each record's kind of had this polar side of like the record is this. So that's been exciting, because you didn't really get that vibe from the singles. Like the singles were all kind of like in the same lane of like pop punk, but had some heavy elements. Like that was basically like we were playing, with heavier stuff. Like when you're gonna tell me Sex on the Beach, Killer, and Criminal are 3 of the singles we get, and the album isn't gonna have any other heavy stuff on it, like you're pulling my leg. Because like we were getting songs like that as singles. Obviously we got Love You Anyway and Girls, which are total polar opposites from Criminal, but big fan of this album, as you can tell by the blabbering. I think it flows incredibly well because, there are a lot of slower moments on this album. They slow it down there for a little bit with Nosebleed and Love You Anyway after Freaking Out. But they waste no time in picking it up, and it's also like this, the songs have a little bit more of a flow, whereas the last time, with my biggest gripe of all time, Drink to Drown, smacked out in the middle of Pink Elephant, I will never ever forgive that or forget about it.
It's been 4 years and we still bring that shit up like in everyday discussion. We're like, at least they didn't fucking Pink Elephant it. It's so funny.
So like these songs, are on the slower side, but do not slow the record down like that. So you're able to have a song like Kissin' Killer Cobras where it's just like it picks it back up and it's like no time was even wasted. So you get that moments like that. Really the slowest song on the record is the reprise / one take of 17, but it's like it's a minute and 30, and it just kind of fits it. It's a very personal, emotional song for Bonnie, as is. And then to really strip it back and like let it all out, you know, gives a new meaning to the song, and it, you know, it belongs on the record. I'm not going to harp on it because it doesn't slow anything down. I think the flow overall this time was a lot better. My favorites are Freaking Out and Kissin' Killer Cobras. I've been spending a lot of time with this record, but I've been spending a lot of time with those songs. The first time I heard Freaking Out, my mind almost exploded. I was blown the fuck away.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are hands down my favorites. I still really like Sex on the Beach, despite it being a single fucking like 2 years ago. So yeah, wake up, sit down, shut up. I like that song, but I like this record as a whole. I think it's fantastic. They did a lot of different things on this album, and I think they all work. And overall, incredibly solid album. I'm stoked on it. I'm stoked for more. I'm stoked that they got that tour with Day to Remember and August Burns Red, because holy fuck, those stages are massive. And just excited to see where this album goes, where it takes them, and to see them live off the back of it.
Yeah. Damn right. Fuck yeah.